Hello children, how are you all? I hope everybody is fine and studying properly at home. I also hope you have gone through the previous videos from the chapter How do organisms reproduce? In this video, I am going to discuss another topic, why the sexual reproduction. So now let's start the topic. Sexual reproduction, what is meant by it? The mode of reproduction that takes place with the involvement of two individuals of two different sexes, that is male and female, is known as sexual reproduction. So, we know that in this reproduction, both the parents are involved and male gamete and female gamete fuse together to form zygote, and zygote forms the new organism. But the most important thing which we need to know, why is the sexual reproduction important, or significance of sexual reproduction? So we know that sexual reproduction involves DNA and cellular apparatus of two different organisms, that is the male and the female parent, which brings diversity of characters in the offspring. That means the new individual will have varied characters because it receives different set of characters both from male and female. Since gametes are produced from two different organisms, it results in a new combination of genes in the zygote, which increases the chances of genetic variation. So due to this variation, the new characters will be formed, and these new characters will be carried through the generations. Ultimately, it will help in the formation of new species. So genetic variation is the basis of evolution of species. Moreover, the newly formed individual will have developed characters, which will enable the organism to survive in varied climatic conditions. So the new organism will be able to cope up with the changed environment. And lastly, during sexual reproduction, both male and female gamete receives half the number of chromosomes or DNA from the parent organism. So the zygote which is formed after the fusion of both the male and female gamete will have same number of chromosome as that of the parent. So the amount of DNA and the number of chromosomes are maintained in the species. For example, human being has 46 numbers of chromosomes. The male gamete will have 23 chromosomes and the female gamete will have 23 chromosomes. So after fusion, 23 plus 23, that is 46 number of chromosomes will be present in the zygote. So the total number of chromosomes in the individual is maintained by this sexual reproduction. The question generally is asked that why the number of chromosomes is not getting doubled when the fusion takes place between male and female gametes. So the answer is that when the gametes are formed, they receive only half the number of chromosomes from the parent. So after fusion, they will have the same number of chromosomes as that of the parent. Now, limitations of sexual reproduction. We know that sexual reproduction involves the process of combining DNA from two different organisms, which will bring some undesirable features also. So the new set of combinations of genes which will be formed in the zygote may not be useful for the organisms. And such characters are generally not carried through the generations. And useful characters which are fruitful for the individual, that will be carried through the generations. Now, let us know about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. First of all, the structure of the flower. The parts of the flowers are sepals, petals, stamens, carpels. You know that sepals are green structures that protect the inner parts when the flower is in bud stage. Petals are colorful and it will attract the insects for pollinations. And the stamens are male reproductive parts and produce pollen grains that contain male gametes. Each stamen has two parts, filament and anther. In the picture you can see filament is the long stalk part and anther is the solen top part which has large number of pollen grains. The carpel is the female reproductive part and it produces ovules that contain female gametes. The carpel is also divided into three parts: stigma, style, ovary. Stigma is the top sticky part and it receives pollen grains during pollination. So an insect or bird when lands on stigma, they may carry the pollen grains from other flowers which get stick to the stigma and thus pollination occurs. Style is a middle long part and ovary is the solen part containing ovules. Each ovule has a female gamete. Remember, the flowers can be bisexual, that is having both stamens and carpels, for example, mustard, hibiscus, etc. And the flowers can be also unisexual, that is having either stamens or carpels, for example, papaya, watermelon, etc. Now, what is known as pollination? The process of transfer of pollen grains from an anther to the stigma of the flower is called pollination. There are two types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. What is meant by self-pollination? When the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma takes place on the same flower or on the another flower, this type of pollination is known as self-pollination. So pollination here happens within the same plant. Cross-pollination. Here the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma takes place to the flower of a different plant of the same species. So cross-pollination takes place with the help of some agents like insects, birds, wind, etc. I hope this video is helpful for you. So study this part. Thank you.